Hello Jays Nation, welcome back to your go-to channel, Toronto Blue Jays News Network. Today we have 3 jam-packed updates about our Blue Army, which have come to our notice just a few hours ago. So if you are a true Jays fan, you do not want to miss these updates. And yes, before we start the video, I request you to, if you are new to the channel, then do not forget to like and subscribe so that you can stay in a loop with everything happening at the Rogers Center and beyond. Let's dive straight into the first major story of the day. Update 1, the offseason shakeup. Huge signings and a sudden retirement. Folks, we have to start by looking back for a second to move forward. After taking the defending champion Los Angeles Dodgers to the 11th inning of Game 7 of the World Series before finally falling, the Toronto Blue Jays have embarked on an all-out upgrade project this offseason. The front office knows we were just outs away from a ring, and they are not resting. President and CEO Mark Shapiro and General Manager Ross Atkins made the first big splash of the free agency period by signing the top hurler on the market. We are talking about the former San Diego Padres Cy Young candidate Dylan Cease. They locked him down to a massive 7-year contract at $30 million per season, despite the fact that Cease is already 30 years old. That shows you they are all in. The Jays followed that up with a 3-year, $30 million deal for Korean baseball organization star Cody Ponce, and another 3-year deal, this one at $12.3 million per year, for the submarine throwing reliever Tyler Rogers. Despite apparently losing workhorse veteran Chris Bassett to free agency, the Blue Jays appear to have reinforced their pitching staff for another run at the World Series. But, sadly, not every prospect sees a future for himself that leads to a multi-million-dollar deal on a championship-level staff. That became clear on Saturday when, in a quiet move that went largely unnoticed, one of the Blue Jays' more intriguing pitching prospects made the decision to give up professional baseball at the age of 24. We are talking about Nate LaRue. Now, you might remember him. Nate LaRue was drafted by the Blue Jays in the 25th round, a round so low it does not exist anymore, with 2019 actually being the final year that the draft extended beyond 20 rounds. Primarily a catcher who sometimes doubled as a hurler at McGill-Tulane Catholic High School in Mobile, Alabama, LaRue declined to sign with the Jays at the time. Instead, the two-way prospect chose to play at Auburn, focusing almost exclusively on catching. And that is the position the Blue Jays intended for him when they finally signed him as an undrafted free agent in 2023, after his senior year with the Tigers. Ricky Meinhold, the Blue Jays minor league pitching coordinator, said in an April 2025 interview that LaRue had a bazooka behind the plate. Meinhold later encouraged LaRue's switch to pitching, noting that because he had pitched already, they had some clay to mold. So, what happened? Well, the idea to convert the right-handed LaRue to a full-time pitcher came after the 6'3", 223-pounder suffered a severe ankle injury during spring training of 2024 and was forced to undergo surgery. By August, he had completed his rehab and was ready to be activated. But instead of adding him to an active minor league roster, the Jays placed him on the development list at the Double-A New Hampshire Fisher Cats. After that, LaRue agreed to try his hand at full-time pitching. He spent all of 2025 as a pitcher, as might be expected for a player who had not pitched seriously since high school. LaRue struggled. Between the single-A and high-A levels, he got into 27 games, throwing 30 2/3 innings with a 5.30 earned run average. On Saturday, LaRue's decision not to continue with baseball was announced publicly, appearing as a notice on his transactions ledger. What specifically led to his drastic decision is not entirely clear, but his little-known career will now be remembered for his determination to defy the odds that were heavily stacked against him until the point when he must have decided that it was in his best interest to pursue a different path in life. We wish him the best, but it reminds us that while we sign giants like Dylan Cease, the grind of the minor leagues is incredibly tough. Update 2. The final 3. Toronto locks horns with Titans for Kyle Tucker. But folks, while we wish Nate LaRue the best in his new life, The Blue Jays front office is busy trying to change the life of our franchise right now. If one door closes, a massive window might be opening. We are moving from a prospect retiring to potentially signing one of the biggest names on the planet. The race for superstar outfielder Kyle Tucker has officially hit a fever pitch, and the Blue Jays are right in the thick of it. We are not just interested, we are one of the final 3 serious contenders. Former Major League Baseball executive Jim Duquette reported on Sunday that the field has narrowed significantly. He confirmed that the Toronto Blue Jays, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the New York Mets have all officially met with the 4-time All-Star. We are talking about face-to-face or Zoom meetings where the real recruitment pitches happen. This signals that the chase has entered its final stage. Now, here is the juicy part that proves how serious the Jays are. It has been revealed that Toronto actually hosted Tucker at their Dunedin facility on December 3rd. Manager John Schneider spilled the beans during an interview, revealing that they had a 90-minute sit-down. This wasn't just a hello, how are you chat. They covered organizational direction, roster construction, and ownership commitment. In fact, this remains the only confirmed in-person visit reported this entire winter. Tucker lives in Tampa, so the drive to Dunedin was easy. But geography does not land you a meeting with the best free agent available. The Blue Jays got that FaceTime because they have backed their interest with massive financial commitments all winter. Schneider was incredibly impressed by Tucker. He said Tucker did not just listen to the sales pitch. He broke down his own defensive reads, his base running instincts, and the mental side of the game. Schneider said, quote, he talked about his defense. He talked about his base running. Certain tells in a pitcher to try to get 25 bags instead of 20. That is the kind of high baseball IQ we need. Let's talk money because Rogers Communications is not playing around. Toronto has already committed over $350 million in contracts this winter, including that historic $500 million extension for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and $210 million for Dylan Cease. Adding Tucker would push our payroll past approximately $565 to $600 million. But ownership has not hesitated. Why Tucker? He fits perfectly. We need a left-handed bat after falling just 2 outs short of a championship last season. He would slot into right field alongside George Springer and Miles Straw, creating immediate chemistry with his former Houston Astros teammates. The strategy here is interesting. Reports indicate Toronto plans to offer a longer contract than its competitors. The Mets and Dodgers prefer shorter deals with high annual value, likely under 4 years. But the Dodgers are dangerous. They have 2 straight championships and a reputation for swooping in late. And the Mets? Well, owner Steve Cohen has deep pockets and is desperate to make a splash after losing Pete Alonso. But looking at the numbers, Tucker is worth the fight. He posted a slash line of .266/.377/.464 last season with 22 home runs and 25 stolen bases. His walk rate was top 10 in the league, and he has posted an on-base plus slugging percentage above .800 every single year since 2020. The stalled offseason has created uncertainty, but with Alex Bregman finally signing with the Cubs, the dominoes are falling. Duquette speculates the offers are close, meaning Toronto might need to increase its bid to separate from the pack. We are in a heated race, Jays Nation, but bringing Tucker to Canada would pair him with Vladdy and create one of baseball's most dangerous lineups. Update 3. Team chemistry at an all-time high in Ernie Clement's new deal. Finally, Jays Nation. Let's take a quick break from the high-stress contract talks and look at how our boys are recharging their batteries. When it comes to team bonding, there are certainly worse places to do it than in St. Bart's. Several members of the Blue Jays and a couple of notable free agents escaped the cold winter weather of Toronto for a vacation in the Caribbean island nation recently. It looks like the chemistry inside the clubhouse is just as strong on the beach. Taylor Gaussman, the wife of our ace Kevin Gaussman, shared several photos and video clips over the weekend of the getaway, featuring plenty of familiar smiling faces. Among the members of the 2025 American League champion Blue Jays team, we saw pitchers Kevin Gaussman, Shane Bieber, Jeff Hoffman, Max Scherzer, and Chris Bassett. Infielder Ernie Clement was also spotted, having a blast on the beach, enjoying some good eats, and dancing the night away at a club. It wasn't just the players, the wives and girlfriends were right there in the mix. Kara Bieber shared several pictures from the getaway, calling it the trip of a lifetime on Instagram. The group also celebrated free agent Bo Bichette's wedding last week in St. Petersburg, Florida, before heading out. Interestingly, this trip tells us a bit about the roster dynamics. While Gausman, Bieber, and Hoffman figured to be key pieces for the Blue Jays pitching staff in 2026, Max Scherzer and Chris Bassett remain free agents as spring training nears next month. It is great to see them still close with the team. By the way, Shane Bieber, a trade deadline addition by general manager Ross Atkins, could have become a free agent, but instead, he picked up his one-year player option at $16 million for the 2026 season. The primary reason for the getaway is thought to have been to celebrate the upcoming 40th birthday of Max Scherzer's wife, Erica. But one player had another massive reason to celebrate. Ernie Clement has officially secured the bag. The postseason record setter and the Blue Jays avoided arbitration on Friday, agreeing to a one-year $4.6 million deal for the 2026 season. Clement earned every penny of that raise, and knowing he is locked in adds even more depth to our infield as we look to run it back. So there you have it, Jays Nation. From the surprising retirement of prospect Nate LaRue to the heated battle for superstar Kyle Tucker, and finally our boys living their best lives in St. Bart's while Ernie Clement cashes in. It has been a whirlwind few hours for the franchise. Now I want to hear from you. Are you worried about the competition for Kyle Tucker from the Dodgers and Mets? And how happy are you to see the team bonding like this in the offseason? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. I read every single one of them. If you enjoyed this update, please smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss breaking Blue Jays news. Thank you so much for watching Toronto Blue Jays News Network. I will catch you in the next one. Go Jays, go!